Do you really need anyone? Or have you just trained yourself not to? There's a certain pride in being the person who handles everything. The one who doesn't complain. The one who shows up, fixes the problem, carries the weight, and keeps moving. In today's world, that kind of independence looks powerful. It looks admirable. But sometimes, what we call strength is actually fear wearing a very polished mask. Journalist Emine Sainer explored this idea in The Guardian, sharing stories of people who appeared incredibly capable on the outside, but were silently overwhelmed underneath. One woman stepped in when a family member became critically ill. She went to the hospital every single day, spoke to doctors, took notes, managed decisions, and became the emotional anchor for everyone else. The stress became so intense that her hair began falling out. And still, she didn't ask for help. Not because help wasn't available. Her family would have supported her instantly. It simply didn't occur to her. She had already decided, I'll handle it. That sentence, I'll handle it, is often the anthem of the hyper-independent. Hyper-independence rarely begins in adulthood. It often starts in childhood. Maybe you grew up in an environment where emotions were dismissed. Maybe your caregivers were overwhelmed or inconsistent. Maybe you learned early that being easy and self-sufficient earned praise. Or perhaps you were hurt deeply once and decided, consciously or not, that relying on others was too risky. Somewhere along the way, a belief formed. It's safer to depend on myself. And that belief can quietly shape your identity. On the surface, hyper-independent people often succeed. They build careers. They become reliable. They are seen as strong, mature, responsible. But emotionally, there can be distance. In romantic relationships, you may hesitate to lean. In friendships, you might be the listener more than the sharer. You tell yourself you don't want to burden anyone. But late at night, when everything is quiet, a question sometimes surfaces. If I stopped holding everything together, would anyone notice? For many women, especially those praised for being strong, independence becomes intertwined with worth. In some communities, strength is not just admired, it is expected. You cope, you endure, you survive, you achieve. The idea of saying, I need help, feels almost foreign. Even small acts, letting someone pay for coffee, asking for advice, admitting you're overwhelmed, can feel uncomfortable, even threatening. Yet hyperindependence is rarely about arrogance. It is often about protection. Protection from rejection, from disappointment, from being let down again. If you don't expect support, you can't be hurt by its absence. The problem is, the fortress that protects you also isolates you. Therapists describe hyperindependence as a coping mechanism. It once served a purpose. It kept you safe. It made you capable. But over time, it can lead to burnout, emotional numbness, and quiet resentment. You may do everything for everyone, but secretly wish someone would insist on taking care of you for once. Real strength is not the absence of need. It is the ability to acknowledge need without shame. The shift does not require becoming dependent. It simply requires allowing reciprocity. You can start small. Accept help with something minor. Share a small worry instead of internalizing it. Allow someone to show up for you without immediately trying to repay them. These tiny moments of vulnerability retrain your mind. They teach you that asking does not equal weakness, that leaning does not equal losing control. Many people discover something surprising when they try this. Others are often more willing to support them than they imagined. If you see yourself in this, it might be worth asking, when did I decide I had to do everything alone? Who wasn't there for me when I needed them? Am I protecting myself from the present or from the past? Maybe true independence isn't about never needing anyone. Maybe it's about choosing connection without fear. And maybe the strongest thing you can do is let someone stand beside you. Not because you can't handle life alone, but because you don't have to. Reference. Saner. You think, do I really need anyone? The hidden burden of being a hyper-independent person.